6. I think I got it right. Good morning nonetheless. Let's see. We got Jim B in the building. Morning all. Going to be a great week. Yes, it is. It is going to be a great week. It's already a great week. We're just going to have it come to fruition. That's the part of the week that we're in right now. Shout out to my brother Ant in the building. Good morning, good people. Shorty good. Shorty good. All right. I like that. Yeah, so we got a lot to tap into today. I've been disappointed, man. I'll be honest. I've been disappointed. I continue to be disappointed looking at all these responses to Tucker Carlson interviewing Nick Fuentes. And I'm disappointed for a few reasons. Let me actually turn my phone on silent. But as much as I don't think anybody should be surprised of the goofiness that's going on, it's still, when you see it, it's like, damn, is this where we are right now in society? Is this where we are right now, where Floyd Mayweather's jumping on stage at the Jewish Republican convention and, in my opinion, just acting a fool, showing total disregard to overall humanity? And you jump up there and it's like, Floyd, I'm the one and only Floyd Money Mayweather. Well, that's kind of like ironic, considering a lot of the complaints that people have, or a lot of the reasoning that people are saying. People are doing certain things. For example, taking money from Israel, even though Israel's saying that a lot of people are taking money from Qatar, all this stuff. But it's just disappointing to see people who are acting as if they're having a war on morals, principles, and values. And all it is what we always talk about, tribalism. But it's a example of how we can see religion working in the worst ways, and how the worst type of people, in my opinion, use religion to prove whatever atrocity they're trying to commit in the name of it being us versus them and our survival. That's what seems to be happening. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about, we got some fun. I'm going to start off with a little funny video, or maybe I won't start off with a funny video. Maybe we'll just get right into it. But yeah, the world is going, it's an interesting place that we're in. It's a very interesting place that we're in. And the main video that we'll spend time on, well, two videos that we'll spend time on. The first one is going to be with Brandon Tatum and this speech that he gave. We're going to dissect that a little bit, unpack it, because it's just an example, not to pick on Officer Tatum or anything like that, but it's just an example of things that need to be addressed, because people are having they must be having these conversations in bubbles, because it's like, if you take a step back and look at what you're saying, the impact that it could potentially make, how you're contradicting yourself, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So we'll get into that. I think we also may watch a video, real good video that Nick Fuentes and Tucker Carlson, they had a clip on Tucker's show talking about relationships and how a lot of us are not having kids anymore, not married. A lot of the conversations that come up in our regular conversations from time to time. So we'll probably get into that as well. But let me make sure, do me a favor, like, and we're going to get right into the first video. And Zyla wrote, Floyd just cares about the check, dog. And it's crazy. It's like, and we know that. As much as we know that, though, that's what it's like. I'm not surprised, but it's like, when you see it, like when you actually see it, it's just extremely disappointing. So even though I know exactly what Floyd's about, even though I know exactly I'm observing what this entire thing is about, it's still disappointing when you see it. It says mental illness is real, from politics to entertainment industry. Forgot it was sparkling. They almost, all right. Yeah, OG Vons. It is, man. It is. And are you talking about being in politics and being in the entertainment industry? Or are you saying that, us paying attention to it, probably both, us paying attention to it cause your own mental illness? But yeah, you can definitely get wrapped up in this stuff and it leads you down a bad path. So I agree completely. I agree completely. All right, so let's now I got the hiccups drinking this sparkling stuff. All right, so let's get into this first video. Am I gonna go with this funny one? Can we laugh for a second because it was Halloween. So this is just maybe this is like what's going on in America. Maybe this is a great example of what's going on in America, the hypocrisy. And I guess it's kind of funny, but it's kind of not, I guess. I don't know. Y'all tell me. So let's take a look at this. So this was a trans biologically born man who has I'm not really sure of it. Let's just watch the video. I think y'all will understand. A trans woman, I believe. All right. And he's getting upset with somebody else, I believe a white lady, that is dressed as a Native American for Halloween. So just a nice little icebreaker.
She's dressed as a Native American.
Are you trans? Is that a costume or is that how you are? Huh?
Do I look trans?
A little bit.
You look trans.
But it's also Halloween. I look trans?
I was just minding your own business. I'm not even talking to you. I don't give a fuck what you're talking.
You're offended? You're offended, but you're dressed up like a girl.
I have a beard. Do girls have beards?
Well, when they take hormones and shit, they get them.
I said what I have to say.
Yeah, you said it. Now you can get the fuck out of here.
She can talk for herself too, right?
She clearly doesn't want to because you're fucking disrupting her night. Just fucking
That's
walk
it.
down the
That's
street.
it. I will just fucking walk down the street.
Good, please.
Oh my God. And the underwear, you see the underwear. Oh my God. I don't know if that's the underwear or the stockings. This is the world that we're living in today. This is the world that we're living in today, where a man can go up to a lady dressed on Halloween and say that she's offended by her costume for dressing up as a Native American, and the whole time. But I'm just joking. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. But it is funny. Like that does kind of summarize like where we are in America. Sometimes when I'm walking around, it's just like when things just aren't making sense, when you're like, wait, what? And yeah. And then you have a guy who's coming up to a woman who seemed like a more of a frail, intimidated white woman, telling her that she's offensive, and he's being a woman. Like, all this stuff is crazy. We are just living in some of the weirdest times ever right now. Like, they're going to speak about these times, these generations, like thousands of years from now. And what do you think they're going to say about us? What do you think they're going to say about us? But quick little icebreaker. Haha. Let's move on to the real video. All right. So this first video, this is a speech that Brandon Tatum did. And originally I was just going to play a clip of it. However, I want to play the full speech and really dissect it, because I want us to be reminded that he speaks as somebody, and he'll remind you, that is representing the Christian faith and that is doing things in the name of God. All right. So I want us to understand this, because I think a lot of us get bamboozled and fooled into going certain ways or having certain thoughts because it's allegedly aligned with a religion. It's allegedly aligned with somebody that we believe has certain principles, morals, and values. However, when you dissect it, and you shouldn't even have to dissect it, just hearing it, it's like, this is demonic, the things that you're saying. It doesn't align with any faith. Christian faith, Jewish faith, Muslim faith, Buddhist, it doesn't align with anything. But these are the things that people are pushing. Let's get into it.
How are y'all doing this afternoon? Boy, I tell you, y'all have no idea how grateful I am and how excited I am to be in a room full of sane people. Now, some of you guys may be on social media like I am, and you can see the lunatics. They're still saying I'm getting paid $7,000 per post. So if anybody in here know the hookup, can you hook a brother up and get me $7,000 per post, please? Get with Dylan Marks in the back. He will lead you where you need to be. But I'm excited because I think it's a calling on all of us to stand up with the relationship that we have with the state of Israel and our Jewish brothers and sisters. I am the most excitable person when it comes to this topic. And I will stand with my Jewish brothers and sisters to the very end. And one of the reasons that I have this fervor and this excitement is because I actually read my Bible. I know what God has said. I know what the principles of God mean to people like me as a Christian. And we have to stand by those principles to the very end. And I'm gonna say this, because I know a lot of you guys in here are bold and courageous, but this is the time to be more bold than ever before.
All right, so I'm going to be stopping this throughout, but I think that we have to have an adult mindset come to the conversation. And this is why I have a problem and why I first initially started stepping away from Christianity. Now, I have no issue with any religion. Like I'm everything. That's how I look at it. Whatever I can learn from, yeah, I'll take a little bit of that, a little bit of this, you cool. But one of the first issues that I was having with Christianity was people saying that God wrote this. God did not write it. Stop. We have to be adults about all this, because when we're not, then the conversation gets completely out of hand and it becomes a slippery slope. Man wrote it. You could say it was inspired by God. Yeah, a lot of us believe that the things that we do in our lives are inspired by God. That's enough. But we do not have to sit here and act like God wrote this. It's flawed in certain ways, just like man is flawed in certain ways. Even if the things that you're doing in your day-to-day basis are inspired by God, some of the things are still flawed. And what we do is we put this, oh, God wrote this, or this was inspired by God. Everything that was written was inspired by. No, it wasn't. If we all come from God, then everything that we do is inspired by God then. Or just the positive things to a lot of people, right? The negatives are inspired by the devil. The positive things are inspired by God. Okay, cool. But we have to be, it gets out of hand when we look at religion like this. It gets out of hand, in my opinion. Man is flawed. It was written for a purpose, all right? It was written for a purpose, and it's a set of rules. It's a set of standards. It's a way of life. It's encouraging us to live a certain way. And that's not bad. But it can become very dangerous when we're saying that God wrote this, because now look where we are. 3,000 years later, oh, God told Bibi Netanyahu in Israel to take away these people's land and to build right here. Like, it gets out of hand, even just from a foundational standpoint. In my opinion, we have to grow up when we're looking at things like this. Let's keep going.
Anti-Semitism in America is out of control. And it's no longer a time where you can sit back and watch others perform and watch others stand up for what's right. You have to get off of your butt, get online or wherever you need to get, and stand up for what's real and what's true. And let me say this. I will never capitulate. I will never give credence to foolish people who are anti-Semitic, who are racist, people who hate America. I will never support them. I don't care how long you've been podcasting. I don't care how many followers you got. I don't care how much money you got. When you platform somebody, bring somebody on your show and let them just dog out Jewish people, let them just dog out and say they support Stalin, I will never support you.
All right, I was very disturbed. I was disturbed. I was offended, right? This whole Stalin conversation. I don't know much about Stalin at all. And I said, I need to do some due diligence on him. So maybe over the next couple of weeks, maybe we'll discuss Stalin. But this is the epitome of racism. It's the epitome of racism. And I hate to say it, because y'all know I hate all the victim stuff, but it's just real. What makes the lives, the millions of lives, right? Stalin, let's actually look this up. How many people is Stalin responsible for killing? Let's actually look this up. How many people is Stalin responsible for killing? I'm going to give you an example. I want y'all to walk through this with me. All right, the exact number. Estimates fall within a range of 6 million to 20 million deaths. All right, 6 million to 20 million deaths. So just keep that in mind. So recently we celebrated Columbus Day, right? And y'all are probably sitting here thinking like, oh, here we go with the Columbus Day talk. Yep, here we go with the Columbus Day talk. It's funny how all of these things tend to relate to each other. And it's a never-ending cycle. What makes the lives of the people that Stalin killed, the 6 to 20 million approximately, what makes their lives worth more than the lives of the people that, let's say, Christopher Columbus and the European colonizers that he led to kill in America? Now, I got to bring this up because, see, if people weren't using it to prove their point, like if people weren't using this to try to say Nick Fuentes says that he likes Stalin, okay, well, y'all like Christopher Columbus. So what's the problem? Meanwhile, I'm the one sitting here saying like, they both ain't shit. They're both evil. What makes the lives of the people that Stalin killed worth more than the lives of the people that Christopher Columbus? And hold on, y'all may not be aware of the numbers because I wasn't aware of the numbers. This is the estimation. There was an estimated before, when Christopher Columbus came and discovered the Americas, even though he never stepped foot in North America, when he came and discovered, quote unquote, the Americas, even though there were approximately 50 to 90 million people already living over here. Let me say that again. When he discovered the Americas, there were already 50 to 90 million people here. That 50 to 90 million dropped to 5 to 10 million. The 50 to 90 million people that were already living in the Americas dropped to 5 to 10 million. This is across North, Central, South America. Do y'all realize how many people died based on colonizers coming from Europe? But it's okay for us to celebrate Christopher Columbus as a hero. I'm just calling out the hypocrisy. I'm not playing victim. I'm calling out the hypocrisy. But now when Nick Fuentes says that, oh, he thinks Stalin was great, or that he, even though he did evil things, whatever he said, almost like an Alexander the Great type of, I guess, mindset. Why is it okay? Like, what other way could you look at it? And then when we look at what's going on right now, well, it all makes sense. Why is it okay for all of these Palestinians to die? It's okay for something to happen to less than 1,000 Israelis, right? On October 7th, and then it's justified destroying and committing a genocide on an entire group of people because you have a problem with Hamas? It's all racist, and it's right in front of our face, and it's like we don't even see it. It's like we don't even care. What makes the deaths of the people that Stalin killed worth more than the deaths of the people that the colonizers who came to the Americas killed? One gets a holiday. The other, you get canceled for saying that you like them. Okay, that makes sense. Shout out to Samthony Spurger. Take my money. Shout out to you. Appreciate you. All of this is just nonsense. But y'all get the point. I'm not gonna focus on it too much, but y'all get the point. It's all hypocrisy. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because maybe we should take this into consideration when we're deciding to cancel somebody for liking a person, but then when we celebrate another person, like maybe we should question our own morals, principles, and values. Maybe we should look into how we're looking at the world and how a lot of our perspective has been shaped by the people who want us to see things based on their agenda that they're looking to carry out. Let's keep going.
I'm trying not to get crazy in here, but we got to stop being soft on this topic. We got to stop being soft on the topic. Let me tell you what cancellation is not. No one cares if you on your own social media platform and you spew whatever you want to say, whether it's stupid or not. We live in America and people have the right to free speech, but we don't have to platform you. We don't have to let you come on our programs and say stupidity and spew stupid stuff. And for too long, I'm seeing it go on and on and on and on. I see somebody with a sign that said, Tucker is not MAGA. I guess I got to put his name out there. That's not MAGA. When you're on your platform and people are acting as if Sharia law is better than what we have here in America and the laws that are given to us by God through faith, you're a silly person. If you are out here and you don't know whether or not Hamas is a terrorist organization or a political organization, you are a foolish person. And since I'm already name dropping, everybody saw that interview. You have a guy say that he supports Stalin and that he was a big fan of Stalin on your show. You can have him on the show, but doggone it, you better push back on people like that. There's no way you can say that you're a Christian. There's no way you can say you believe in God and you support a person like Joseph Stalin, who did not believe in God, who killed so many people. Enough is enough. We're not putting up with it anymore. And I stand by our president. That's the reason why I voted for him, because he's a man of integrity. He's a man that stands on principles. And he's a man that's going to be true to what he said. Now, you can decide whether you like what he said or not, but you can guarantee that he's going to stand on what he said. And this is...
It was at this point where I'm like, bro, you gotta, the glazing is becoming a little bit too much, bro. Like, even as somebody that voted for Trump is not standing on the things that he said. And this is what makes it so, like, this, when people say stuff like this is what draws all these crazy connections and people go down these rabbit holes, and why people are assuming that this Jeffrey Epstein thing didn't come out because it's going to expose certain relationships and blackmailing with Mossad and Israel. This is why. It's like, bro, the whole reason why Marjorie Taylor Greene, why Tucker Carlson, why Candace Owens, and why a lot of people are calling out Donald Trump is because, number one, with the Epstein files, you ran an entire campaign on releasing these files. And then when you actually got in office, you and the rest of your team was pushing it more than even you. Now they act as if, oh yeah, you're not MAGA if you still want the Jeffrey Epstein files. It's nothing there. Trump said he was going to, no new wars, stop these wars day one. All these different things that Trump said that he was going to do. Whether it's prices, all these things, I got to be honest. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. It loses credibility. And not that you didn't already lose credibility based on the things that you said in the first 4 minutes already that you were talking. But it's like, come on, bro. We're not being real when it comes to this.
That's why I love Donald Trump. And when I watch Donald Trump and I see him with Bibi Netanyahu, I see people that operate in reality. The reality is that Israel is one of our greatest allies. And for people to think otherwise, you fall in one or two categories. You're either ignorant or you simply hate Jews.
So I guess I'm either ignorant or I hate Jews. And I guess a lot of y'all are either ignorant or you hate Jews. This is, I sit back and I wonder, this is why I said last week, are y'all trying to start a war? Like, is this like what is going on? Like, are y'all trying to rile up, especially the young Americans and even a lot of the older Americans that fell victim to a lot of the propaganda and indoctrination that a lot of us learned growing up in school? These 20 to 30-year-olds, they're not off that. They're not going along with that. So when you force people to say, okay, if you don't support what's going on, if you don't support this relationship with Israel, then you're either ignorant or you hate Jews. You used to be able to bully people with that. You used to be able to bully people with that. Throw in do you not think that Israel has the right to exist? You used to be able to bully a lot of people with that. Now we're getting the response. Okay, you want to back me into a corner? And what a lot of people are saying, I'm not saying this, but what a lot of people I'm seeing happen is, okay, you're telling me I'm either ignorant or I hate Jews. I'm not ignorant. So yeah, then I guess I hate Jews. That's what a lot of people are now turning to. I don't think that that's right either, but I can understand it because you're telling me. So if I'm saying I'm not ignorant, if I'm saying that I've done the research, if I'm saying that based on the facts that I'm looking at that I disagree with, just because I don't see the things the same way as you're telling me that I'm in that category, then I'll be in that category then. That's what's happening. And it's a shame because this is why I don't know if people are trying to brew up a war on purpose. I don't know what this is about, but it seems like that's what's happening. As just an observer, it seems that that's what's happening.
Quit lying to yourself. Quit trying to cover. You just hate Jews. Just say it. I don't want to hear I'm just asking questions no more. You're not just asking questions. Asking questions means you do your research first before you put something out into the atmosphere. It's not asking questions to make accusations. If you somehow think the Jews run the world.
Hold on. I gotta, this whole asking questions thing, I want y'all to take a look at this. Hold on. This whole asking questions. Now, this is the same person that got up there, started crying when Charlie Kirk died. First, he said he wouldn't cry if his father died, or he said if a family member or something like that died. He said, I wouldn't cry. Then he's up there on live crying because Charlie Kirk died. And so I just want to give context to that. And then look at this. Then he's talking about asking questions. I believe this is hold on.
I am going to continue to.
So he's telling us that we're anti-Semitic for asking questions. And a lot of these things he's doing in the name of Charlie, right? His friend Charlie. Take a look at this. Where are we at? Hold up.
I am going to continue to ask the question. A 20-hour response in a country the size of New Jersey. That begs a big explanation. And more importantly, America is significantly underwriting the Israeli government $4 billion a year. We as American taxpayers deserve answers to this. We deserve answers. Also, if we're going to get into a regional or world war based on an intel failure, we pay for this. What are we buying, right? I got smeared as a Jew hater, an anti-Semite, and conspiracy theorist because I said exactly what I just said. And I refuse to back down despite all the smears thrown at me because I learned during COVID. I learned when they told us that it came from a bat in the Himalayas. I learned when they told us the vaccine was safe and effective. I learned when they told us that ivermectin was horse paste, that you better keep asking questions because it's the only thing that keeps us free. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I don't need to say anything. I think Charlie summed it up as good as anybody can. When people start accusing you of being anti-Semitic, of being this, being that, just because you're asking questions. Once again, this is what brought me away from Christianity when I started asking questions. And the pastors were either offended by me even having the nerve to ask these questions, or they just wouldn't answer them, told me, hey, you got to talk to God about this. So I don't want to go too much on that tangent, but I'm very skeptical of people that are trying to tell me something, trying to influence me of something, trying to get me to see things the way that they're seeing it, but they don't want me to ask questions. And they're saying that I'm a racist, I'm an anti-Semitic just because I'm asking questions. Like, come on, bro. Come on. Let's keep going.
You are a fool. If you somehow think that Bibi Netanyahu runs Donald Trump, you are a thing that run the world. Accusations. If you somehow think the Jews run the world, you are a fool. If you somehow think that Bibi Netanyahu runs Donald Trump, you are a fool. Donald Trump don't even run Donald Trump. That inner voice in his head that's saying, don't tweet that, don't do that. He like, whatever.
Bro, this is bad. Like, this is, damn. Give somebody a mic and a platform. Damn.
I love you, Trump, if you're watching this. I'm just making a joke. Y'all better put a monitor here because I'm going to talk for 35 minutes. But I'm so passionate about this, and it really changed my perspective because I need to give you guys a little background here. I'm a young guy from Fort Worth, Texas, never went outside of Fort Worth a day in my life growing up. We didn't even go to Dallas. Some of you in Texas, we were in Fort Worth, we never even went to Dallas. Dallas was it was a travel for us. And then I got older, went to the University of Arizona, but I had never left the United States of America. I was ignorant. I'm gonna be embarrassed to say this, but don't judge me, okay? God still loves me, okay? When I was asked, I wasn't really asked, it was Pastor Alan Jackson was going to Israel, and I had never been out of the country, and I said, of course I would love to go with you. I would love to go where Jesus was and all the great things that as Christians we love about Israel. And so when I decided to go, I didn't know anything really about Israel. I used to think that Israel was like a third world country. I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was like Afghanistan and all these other places. I'm telling the truth, can I be honest? I get on the plane, we land, and I'm blown away. I'm like, oh my God, look at these freeways, look at this innovation. It's clean, it's peaceful. We went all the way up from Tiberias, all the way down to the Dead Sea. I mean, it blew my mind. And that's not even adding into the connection with all of the things that the Bible had prophesied about that you could see in the flesh right there in Israel. And we were on the Sea of Galilee, the Mount of Beatitudes, all the Christian sites, because as a Christian, that means so much to me. And when I left, I remember thinking, man, I love this place. I love the energy in this place. I see why in America we partner with a democracy like Israel. And it changed me. And therefore, after that, I'm like, man, I'm the biggest fan of Israel. Then I started doing research and I started realizing our true connection.
He's a fan. He's a fanatic. Once you become a fan of something, this is the reason why you go on these trips. You know how many people come down to Miami and they become fans of Miami, and then everything that they look at is like justifying like why they should move to Miami. When you have a great experience somewhere, then you justify that place being a positive in every aspect. So because he became a fan of Israel, it's like, what does it go back to? Rooting for your favorite sports team. You're not able to look at it from an objective standpoint. You're just not. This is, damn, bro.
That's beyond just the religious connection, the Judeo-Christian values, beyond that.
Tribalism.
The connection that we have geopolitically, the connection that we have when we share intelligence, and all of the great things that all of y'all in here already know. Somehow these people are just losing their mind and they forget about these things. But all of those things and all of the connections make me love Israel. And then October the 7th happened. And I was so upset because good, innocent.
I want y'all to really pay attention to this, because after these next couple minutes, we're gonna go to another video, but I want y'all to pay close attention to this.
People were killed. I've interviewed since people who were hostage or who were held hostage for 490 days. People in the IDF. And I don't want to relive this for you, but it was a moment that made me so upset and angry, because I can see a very similar, I have a very similar feeling that if that happened to America, how would I feel? And the first thing that came out of my mouth, and y'all keep praying for me, I said, I want them to turn that place into a parking lot. I gotta preface it, because somebody gonna clip this and put it on the internet. Not because.
Did y'all hear people cheering? Didn't seem like a lot, but this is the evil that goes unchecked. This is demonic energy. Hamas and a lot of Jewish people, Israeli people, let me be clear, a lot of Israeli or pro-Israel Zionists will say that Hamas is destroying the lives of Palestinians as well. Okay, so if you have a group of people that you know that have fallen victim to Hamas, let's just take your word for that. And Hamas does something on October 7th. Your initial response is to, even though these people are being held hostage, right? The Palestinians are being held hostage by Hamas. And of course, one of the reasons why they're able to hold them hostage is because Bibi Netanyahu okayed for a lot of that money to be sent and to pump up Hamas, right? But we'll leave that there. These people are being held hostage by Hamas, apparently. And your response is to turn the place into a parking lot? And people are cheering in the audience. And you guys are trying to tell us that Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes are like Hitler and that their followers are like Nazis, right? But listen to the things that are being cheered for as he says that he wanted to turn Palestine, Gaza, into a parking lot. Let's hear that one more time.
Thing that came out of my mouth, and y'all keep praying for me, I said, I want them to turn that place into a parking lot.
You know that old saying, a wise man said, fools, if you argue with fools, or if you argue with a fool, you can't, from a distance, you can't tell who's who? Okay, cool. I had a little George Bush moment right there. Well, if you fool me once, yeah, y'all get it. What I'm realizing with this is it's hard to tell who's the demonic crowd. When I hear that, it's hard to tell, like, oh, wait, so the other side is what we're allowing to happen. And what perhaps this is what they mean when I believe what they mean when they say violence only begets violence. When you justify and you say that somebody else did an evil act to you, and then you 10x it, you 100x that or more, who's the real demon? Are both of y'all demons? Okay, so let's say that what Hamas did was demonic. What would you categorize what you did? What would you categorize turning that place into a parking lot as? Would you just say that that's godly, or would you say that that's in that demonic category? People have been scared to call out Israel for a very long time. And Brandon Tatum and a lot of other people that spoke at this conference, they think that what they're saying is really landing on the American people, because they're surrounding themselves with people that think like them, that are in their bubble. But what they're not realizing is that America is not looking at it this way. We're opening our eyes. We didn't go to Israel and just instantly become a fan like Brandon Tatum. We don't have that bias. We're a bit more objective, perhaps. It's not like what people act like as if America is just known for just being super pro-Muslim. We're acting as if we didn't grow up in the 9/11 era, where we looked at every person that was getting on a plane that looked Arab like a little funny, like, oh, is this about to be a situation? Like, we're acting as if we didn't grow up with that bias, raise the next generation with that very same bias. So for America to be changing its tune, like, damn. Let's keep going. We're getting ready to go to another video.
I gotta preface it, because somebody gonna clip this and put it on the internet. Not because of the Palestinian people per se, individual people, but because if you dare to do such an atrocity
Per se.
to people that I love, people that I respect, people that are chosen by God, you decide to do something like that, you should never have an opportunity to do it again. And it should.
Damn, if there wasn't a Kunta Kente Toby moment, like, damn, they're the chosen people, bro. Chosen by God. Like, is this really what's happening? Let me say this very clearly and directly. People in Israel are not chosen by God. Jewish people are not chosen by God. Let me say it again. People in Israel are not chosen by God. You're not. Sorry to burst your bubble. Jewish people, you're not chosen by God. Now, let me continue. Black people, white people, Asian people, Buddhist, Christian, Muslim, they're not chosen by God either. You decide if you're chosen based on your actions. Like, that's a status that we give to people that may live an amazing life. Like, let's say like a Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela would, this is like the whole mindset, and I'm going to go a totally different way. Matter of fact, let me not go that way. Based on what you do, we decide if you were chosen, because all of us are chosen. It's just some people decide to maximize their potential. Some people decide to become great, to achieve great things, to sacrifice for a greater good. That's sacrifice, that's discipline, that's things that they had to do. That's not just something that they're given at birth. You're the chosen people, so therefore you can go through life and be seen as better than other people. Knock it off. And are the older generations, especially y'all baby boomers, and I hate to always pick on y'all, but y'all allowed this type of mindset. There's no way that anybody walking on this planet should be walking around thinking that they're the chosen people. If you really believe in God, do you really believe in God? Do you really believe that God created all of us? If you really believe that God created all of us, could you imagine a parent just sitting there saying like, what? Yeah, that's my chosen one. The other one, nah. That's not a good parent. Y'all continue to take things out of context. And this is what I meant earlier when I said, stop it. God did not write the Bible. Knock it off. So you're putting words in God's mouth. You think that you can play God. You think that you can make a book, you can write out certain things in it, some amazing things in it, and then say that God created it. No, you're not God. You can't. You could say that God inspired it. You could say that you were inspired, but you wrote it. Man wrote that book. Because this is the slippery slope that it creates. Now, Officer Tatum is walking around convincing a whole lot of people, because he's got a lot of followers, convincing people that this group of people is the chosen people. Honestly, I would, if I was Jewish, I'd be upset with this. Why are you saying this? Why are you spewing this? The same way that the ADL came after, I think it was LeBron James when he was rapping a 21 Savage lyric talking about him getting that Jewish money, and he was celebrating the fact that Jewish people get to the money. They do. But Jewish people did not like that. The ADL did not like that. Let me be clear. The ADL did not like that. Yo, you giving us too much of the spotlight. Yo, keep us out the spotlight. You know what I'm saying? This is the same way that I feel when Officer Tatum says these people are chosen. What are you talking about? That's demonic, bro. No group of people is just chosen based on the God that they worship or anything else like that. We got to stop with all this, man. We got to stop with all this. This is demonic behavior, bro. This is bad. And once again, we allowed our American school system. And this is not, and once again, I want to be clear, I'm not bashing the boomers. We have access to a whole lot more information. However, I find it very hard to believe that a part of y'all boomers, y'all weren't aware of the fact that there's certain people getting away with certain things and being promoted and being. So when somebody sits back and says, yo, you act privileged and spoiled, you think you're better than me. So if somebody said that Jewish people walk around like they're better than everybody else, would they be wrong based on Officer? You don't correct Officer Tatum when he's sitting here saying that you're the chosen ones. It's insane. Like this is insane. You think that you're better than other people? You think that you're chosen by God? Like, could you, like, let's not sugarcoat this. You think that you're better than other people. Oh, well, it's not saying that you're better than other people. My purpose is just greater than other people. What? Like, what? And I'll be called anti-something for that? So for me not acknowledging that this group of people is more special and chosen over me. So for me not to acknowledge that this group of people, can you like think about this, yo? If I don't acknowledge that this group of people is chosen by God over me, then I'm anti-Semitic. Yo, I don't understand this. Like, why are y'all allowing this? Like, why are we allowing this? This is wrong. This is not godly. This is not godly behavior. Shout out to my brother Queez, man. Love this content. Question mark. If you do, please like and subscribe. Definitely my brother, man. My brother from another, man. My brother from another. Thank you, Queez. Thank you. It's always dope. Y'all know I appreciate all the support, and it's always dope when, you know, the people that you actually grew up with, you know what I mean, that you've known since you were a child, when they're coming on here and supporting. So that's dope, man. But I just let's keep going. I know I'm going on a rant. I just don't get it. It's just not right. And it creates a whole lot of friction. It creates a whole lot of tension. This creates a whole lot of heat to Jewish people that they don't need, bro. This is just adding to the whole division, the whole dividing. Why are you trying to divide people? If you sat down in front of anybody, if you were in any room, right? If you were in any room, whether you were 5 years old in kindergarten or you're 40 years old on your job or whatever else, or 60 years old at a family reunion, whatever it may be, and they said like, yo, we're going to call out a few people. Yo, y'all are the chosen ones. Everybody else, y'all are just, you know, regular. We don't hate y'all, but y'all are just regular. These are the chosen people. You would immediately create tension, animosity between those two groups. Are you trying to create a war, bro? What are you trying to do?
Be an example to everybody in the world that if you ever think about trying something like this, your country will cease to exist.
I hate all this tough guy talk. Like, go fight in the war then. Like, go fight over there. Like, all this tough guy talk, bro, we're trying to unite. We're trying to bring peace. We're trying to be godly. All this tough guy talk from people that apparently are Christian, this is not Christ-like, bro. This is why this is what drove me away from Christianity, and shame on me perhaps for allowing people in mindsets like this. But I'll be totally honest, when I was asking the questions to the people that were supposed to be leaders, I wasn't getting the answers that made sense. It seems as if people, when it comes to religion, they just use it for whatever agenda they're trying to push, and they just use it to shield them and allow them to get away with spewing demonic things. And this is demonic, bro. This is demonic. Isn't that what the devil tries to do? Tries to divide us, tries to
Boy, if I was the prime minister, ooh, it's 48 hours. Give me 48 hours. And so it enraged.
Give you 48 hours to do what, bro? Maybe you should have used that energy when you were playing football at University of Arizona to get on the field, brother. That's a low shot. I shouldn't have taken that shot. You would have done, Officer Tatum. You'd have ran down on kickoff and made it. Like, stop it, bro. Like, not all this. Why does everybody have to be so tough, bro? Everybody has to be so tough.
Me. And then I said my statement. I thought that most people in America were thinkers and had common sense. Well, shockingly enough, I was wrong, because after I said it, we see all this anti-Semitism popping up. We see mindless people on campus wasting hundreds of thousands of dollars getting no real education. And they're out here talking about from the river to the sea and don't even know which river it is. You got people out here saying death to Jewish people and gays for Palestine.
This is what they do. You know what's so funny? If he's a conservative Republican, you know what most Republicans and conservatives would do? They would say that liberals, and I do it as well, they use the most extreme situations to prove their points. They'll justify abortions based on rape, even though that's only, less than 1% of the ones that are actually happening based on rape. So, rape, I got to change the way I say it. Don't want to get flagged. He's using an extreme example, talking about gays for Palestine. Bro, the majority of us are not running around saying gays for Palestine.
Let's Jewish people. And
who's running around saying that kill Jewish people? Like, who's saying that? But this is what they try to do. They try to categorize anybody who just disagrees or brings up a statement that, hey, I don't like the influence that Israel has on our government. I don't like that AIPAC doesn't have to register as a foreign agent. I don't like you're an anti-Semite. You're in the category over there with them. You hate Jews. You're either ignorant or you hate Jews. One or the other. We talked about this earlier. Like, what? Who's running around saying, like, I haven't heard, who's saying to kill Jews? Why are they bringing this up? Why are they trying to walk people? I don't understand this. I don't understand this. It's almost like they keep trying to poke you with something that you're saying, like, yo, I'm not this, to eventually get a reaction. Well, F it, now I'm that. And then so somebody could turn around and say, see, I told you they were that all along. Like,
I hear saying death to Jewish people and gays for Palestine. I said, I swear, I'll pay for your ticket. I'll fly you business class. I'll get you transportation, but I'm not getting you transportation back because you ain't.
Yo, first off, I see people try to play these games, and it's like, because these Arab countries, let's say, and he's talking about gays for Palestine. So because the Arab countries have certain rules that are not morally sound or aligned with our principles, let's say, even on whether it's gay marriage, being gay, whatever, because they don't have those morals, you're trying to justify why it's okay or why should we should value their lives as less than somebody else's. Well, we should be okay with Israel killing as many Palestinians that need to die in order to, grow the greater Israel project or whatever they're using to justify killing the Palestinians, right? We should be okay with that because they're still living in they're living in an oppressed state because they don't allow gay marriage. They don't allow they do whatever to gay people, That doesn't justify you now committing a demonic act based on, like, you're trying to say that, oh, their principles and values are not the same as ours, so therefore we should be okay with as many of them dying as possible, or that need to die in order to accomplish what? I don't know what exactly Israel's trying to accomplish. I thought this was about October 7th. Is it not? Is it about something different? Is it about this clean break memo that Bibi Netanyahu had wrote? He had written by Jewish, it was like Jewish people with Israel. I think they were from Israel. I don't know, but they were working in our government years ago, where it seemed like the same plans that they were writing about then are seeming to come to fruition, or it seems like he's been trying to get them to come to fruition. It's like Bibi Netanyahu in Israel. They're always trying to take advantage of whatever opportunity it's like, okay, yeah, 9/11 happened. Amazing. Now this is the greatest thing that could ever happen to Israel. Didn't Bibi Netanyahu say something along those lines? Correct me if I'm wrong. Let's let's just keep going. I was going to look at a couple other videos, but it seems like this one, I mean, we kind of knew that this was going to happen. But there are a couple other ones that I do want to go to. So let me actually go to another video. So I don't know who this guy is. Let me actually look it up. Who is Randy Fine? Because I just see a lot of these videos. A lot of times I don't even know these people, but I'm like, yo, what? Like, who is this person? Wow, a member of the Florida House of Representatives. I guess I should be aware that I live in Florida. So Randy Fine, a member of the Florida House of Representatives. He represents District 33. So he's in East Central Florida. He's been in office since 2016. Let's take a look at what he had to say. And let me remind all y'all, this is all just based on Tucker Carlson interviewing Nick Fuentes. And even if you go back and look at the Nick Fuentes, like the interview, neither one of them are saying, well, Tucker's not saying anything that's should be deemed as, getting this type of backlash or, being called Hitler and a Nazi, any of this stuff. But Nick Fuentes, like the main thing that you're saying is he said something about Stalin. Like what else did he say about Jewish people or Israel that is so offensive? That is so demonic. That is more demonic than anything that Brandon Tatum just spewed in that speech. Let's take a look at this. Hold on. We got to shout out to big bro Robert, always coming through in the building. Make sure to turn on notifications. Turn on your notifications. Control the algorithm. Don't let the algorithm control you. Have you considered multi-streaming to Twitch? I think I'm on Twitch. I think I'm on Twitch right now. Let me actually go look at my phone. I think we're on Twitch right now, actually. I haven't done a good job of posting videos on Twitch. I haven't. Shoot, I don't even have the app downloaded on this new phone. But I haven't done a good job of posting on Twitch, but I believe that I am on Twitch. I really do believe. I'm almost positive. But I'll take a look because I definitely, and I know exactly why you're asking because I think about that all the time. If things ever go left on one platform, they can silence you very quickly. And then you have made all this commitment to one platform and then you may need to. So yeah. All right. Absolutely. All right. Yes. Turn on your notifications. Shout out. Thank you again, big bro. Appreciate that. Appreciate you always. And Unc said, when you said remind me to remind everybody to please like and subscribe. And if you're enjoying this and know somebody that would be enjoying the show, text them real quick. Yeah, send this out to somebody real quick. Text them. Tell them we're about to get into the Randy Fine conversation and tell them if they like that, they can always go back and check out the rest of the show. Let me bring up this Randy Fine. Crazy. This is crazy. Crazy work. All right, let's get into it.
Kids down here. Because I'm here.
Let me try to turn this up a little bit. It seems a little low. There we go.
But I'm here for the kids down here. Because it's easy to talk about anti-Semitism on the left. I want to talk about the dark force rising on our side. Multiple speakers have talked about the rise of anti-Semitism on the right. But it is not enough to speak in platitudes or generalities about the fight. We must call evil by its name. 5 years ago, if I was talking to my father, who's watching, hi Dad, if I was talking to my father at 8:59 p.m. at night, he would say, Randy, I gotta go. Tucker Carlson's gonna be on. But make no mistake, today, Tucker Carlson is the most dangerous anti-Semite in America. He has chosen to take on the mantle of leader of a modern-day Hitler Youth, to broadcast and feature those who celebrate the Nazis, those who call for the extermination of Israel, to defend Hamas, to even criticize President Trump for stopping Iran's nuclear ambitions. Friends, make no mistake, Tucker is not MAGA.
Saying that Tucker's not MAGA is one thing. But saying that he's the, I want y'all to repeat, because I just want to play it one more time. It's only a minute ago, but I want to play it one more time because I'm reminded by something. Here I go making these connections to Malcolm X again. And I'm reminded by something that ultimately led to Malcolm X's demise. And I just want us to hear this again and put yourselves in the mind of, we just had Charlie Kirk assassinated. Y'all are telling us that it's this rogue kid that was in a relationship with a trans person. You're trying to say all that just decided to go at Charlie Kirk for whatever reason, right? Just didn't agree with his principles, didn't agree with Charlie Kirk's stance. And that's why Charlie Kirk was assassinated, based on what y'all are telling us. But then you get up here and talk about Tucker Carlson in this way. Like, what are you trying to insinuate? Then you add in the fact that, Josh Hammer saying little slick stuff like the Fox needs to be neutralized. What exactly are y'all trying to do? And the audacity, like you're like, it's like you either can't read the room or you don't care to read the room. And it's probably the latter. You probably just don't care because you understand like a lot of the things that the reason why you guys are having all this backlash and or saying all these things and getting all upset at Tucker Carlson for platforming a guy like Nick Fuentes, because they're saying certain things and perhaps exposing certain things in which you all may control. I'm talking about Israel. We've talked about Jeffrey Epstein. We talked about these blackmails. We've talked about, a lot of stuff's getting exposed, whether, it's the pager killings or this group killing, these bombings, these secret things that are, y'all get what I'm saying. Why would you say this?
5 years ago, Tucker Carlson's going to be on. But make no mistake, today, Tucker Carlson is the most dangerous anti-Semite in America.
Tucker Carlson is the most dangerous anti-Semite in America. And I want us to be all very, like, this should bother anybody. This should bother everybody. When you're having conversations, let's say, and I'm almost speaking to, I'm going to speak directly to my parents about this one. I'm going to speak to my parents on this one because I know they're listening. And we've had a lot of these conversations, and, I grew up next door to a Jewish aunt and uncle, Jewish family that I call family, aunt and uncle, right? And there was a lot of concern, after October 7th, obviously just with society and everything like that. And what I would ask my parents when they're having these conversations with perhaps, our Jewish family, are they concerned with people like Randy Fine saying these type of things? Because if they're calling Tucker Carlson an anti-Semite and using this rhetoric, he's the most dangerous anti-Semite, well, what are y'all asking for people to do? And then if you're calling Tucker that, what are you calling me? So and the reason why I'm directing it to my parents, and I'm going to direct it to you all as well, is because a lot of times we'll allow certain conversations to go and we won't address certain things, but we don't realize that we're actually putting the people who will address those things and have the courage to address those things at a lot of risk. It's almost like you're giving people a pass to speak like this, and it's putting certain people at risk. You're saying that Tucker Carlson is the most dangerous anti-Semite in the world. Like, so I guess if somebody got rid of him, you would feel that that was a good thing. And this is all just for asking questions, all just for being willing to sit down with somebody, all just for a guy like Tucker Carlson who makes it very clear that he is not talking or focusing on Jewish people. He called out Ted Cruz about this and said, yo, I didn't bring up Jewish people. I'm talking about the state of Israel. This reminds me of what Louis Farrakhan did when Malcolm X called out Elijah Muhammad for certain things that he was doing and contradicting a lot of the way of life that he was teaching Malcolm to live. A lot of people may not be aware of this. So Malcolm X found out that Elijah Muhammad was sleeping with some of the people that worked with him, the girls, and got them pregnant. And Malcolm X couldn't bear that. He couldn't sit with that. And eventually he called it out. And Louis Farrakhan made some comments that I believe ultimately led to Malcolm X's demise. You riled people up and got them. And I don't want to quote it word for word, but I believe, and I could be wrong. And matter of fact, let me not say it word for word, but you gave a speech and you left people that would follow you. You gave them the feeling that what Malcolm did is a punishable offense by death. So if you're loyal to Elijah Muhammad, then what would that make somebody want to do? And it reminds me of this. So for every time that you allow somebody to just get away with saying something that you know is demonic, that violates your principles and morals, that completely contradicts the God that they're supposed to represent, think about that. Think about that. What did I say earlier about Nelson Mandela? Nobody's chosen. Certain people just have the courage to get up and say certain things that they believe in and stand up for certain things. That's it. It's a decision. So think about that the next time that you just let something go, just let it go by and just, oh, well, they're just going to be how they are. No, this is demonic. You are calling for something to happen to Tucker Carlson. This is that elitist mindset, that racist mindset, that you think that you can call for somebody like Tucker. You can call him the most dangerous anti-Semite in a climate that we're living in right now. You think that it's okay for you to do that. Why? Why do you feel so comfortable doing that? But then if Nick Fuentes said something like that, let's say while Charlie Kirk was here and said Charlie Kirk is the most dangerous to American society. If Nick Fuentes said that about Charlie Kirk, and Nick Fuentes did say certain things about Charlie Kirk, which were not along those lines, but he did say certain things, and he said certain things, and a lot of people after Charlie Kirk passed away were saying that, well, Nick Fuentes, was it a groyper? Was he incentivizing or whatever, pushing people to want to do something to Charlie Kirk? Well, what are y'all doing? And newsflash, Nick Fuentes, remember, he's still recording shows in his basement. He doesn't have an entire government behind him. He doesn't have a Bibi Netanyahu in Israel surrounding him, which clearly have shown that they have the power to accomplish a lot of these things that they may be just throwing out there. If we're just being real, Nick Fuentes is not Israel. Nick Fuentes is not Mossad. He's not I'm just asking for a friend. Let's continue with the rest of this.
He has chosen to take on the mantle of leader of a modern-day Hitler Youth, to broadcast and feature those who celebrate the Nazis, those who call for the extermination of Israel, to defend Hamas, to even criticize President Trump for stopping Iran's nuclear ambitions. Friends, make no mistake, Tucker is not MAGA.
Bro, how old are you? Like, who cares? Look at these children up here. Tucker is not MAGA. Okay. Tucker's not. This is like lunch. This is like recess type of stuff. You can't sit at this lunch table. You're not one of the cool kids. Like what? Y'all are the cool kids now? Okay. Tucker is not MAGA, bro. Like what type of goofiness is going on here? This is embarrassing. It's embarrassing, and this is dangerous. He's talking about Tucker Carlson being the most dangerous anti-Semite. No, this is dangerous. And the reason why people will not say it's dangerous, especially people that may be aligning with a lot of, the things that the Republican Jewish coalition is saying, it's because of tribalism. It's because you value your life and other people that either look like you or are a part of your group, a part of your gang, a part of your tribe, whatever it is that you want to call it, you value their lives over other people. And it's warped your mindset to completely push your principles, morals, and values to the side in order to justify you committing demonic, ungodly behavior against another group of people.
Tucker's fall from grace has been one of the most extraordinary implosions in political history. And the rapidity of it has created real challenges for us all. Because our friends don't have our shared experience. I even deal with this with my colleagues in the House. See, they remember the Tucker of 5 years ago. They don't live with anti-Semitism every day. They don't think about it the way that we do. And it's jarring for them to try to understand, how did this person become who he is today? But the challenge is he's inspired a movement of hate in our midst. And I'm not done calling people out.
You know what's so funny? I sit back and laugh because it's like they don't live with anti-Semitism every day. This is the same stuff that, people get called out, or black people get called out for. This is the same stuff that black people get called out for. It's like everything's about race. Black people make everything about race. Black people, I don't know what the problem is, because black people are, when it comes down to just this category of household income, Black Americans are at the bottom. Jewish Americans are at the top with Indian Americans. So for all this anti-Semitism going on day to day, touche, because y'all still perform at a very high level. Black people, maybe we need to figure something out. I don't know, because and another thing that's so funny is a lot of y'all conservatives and Republicans, y'all love to call black people out. Oh, everything's about racism. Stop being a victim. Everything's not about slavery. But I don't see them same type of energy. I don't see that energy when it comes to Jewish people, Israel, the Holocaust, Zionism. I don't see that. So all these people are just cowards in my mind anyway. The people that try to call out one group, and then it's just very cowardly people. When you walk with God, show me that you walk with God. Walk with confidence instead of being cowardly. Let's see what shout out to Phobus for definitely showing some love and giving some support. Appreciate you. Randy Fine just introduced the bill to eliminate dual citizenship in Congress. Randy is a weirdo. I agree. I'm not, this is my first time really even hearing him, but I agree. He's definitely a weirdo. He's definitely a weirdo. I think that's the show today. Didn't gotten enough trouble today, so oh my God. Frustrating times that we're living in, but that just means that our voices, our energy, even if you don't use your voice, your energy is needed now more than ever. We definitely got to figure things out. We got to figure things out. Keep standing on principles. Keep standing on values, integrity, morals. Keep standing on them, because we're living in a time right now where people are very confused, and they'll manipulate us based on our previous indoctrination. And they're going to have us, they try to make us see the world exactly as they see it, because obviously that's in their best interest, but that's not in the best interest of all of us. That's not in the best interest of humanity. And just like I got to finish off, or I finished off a lot of the other shows, I make it clear. My Jewish brothers and sisters, my Arab brothers and sisters, they're all my brothers and sisters. However, when you see somebody in your family bugging out, moving in a way that's not aligned with the way that they are acting as if they're aligned with, moving in a way that doesn't align with the principles and morals and values of pushing towards a greater peace amongst humanity and us living in peace amongst humanity, you got to call it out. You got to call it out. So We'll figure this out together, though. We'll figure this out. We can't be discouraged, because when we get discouraged, then we just give up. So we'll figure this out. We'll figure this out together. All right. Sometimes it takes a lot of these type of situations to force people to stand on those principles and values that they know that they should be living by. So maybe this is just one of those situations. Maybe it's just crunch time. So now on to the most important part of the show. The most important part of the show. All right. So everybody, don't leave. You're not allowed to leave. Matter of fact, hit your like button for me, for us. That's going to help. We want as many people staying in here, getting in here, even if I just saw somebody, right, that they just showed up. I think Matt just got here. It's all good. You're tapping in for the most important part of the show. All right. So, of course, with all these topics that we talk about that are heavy, we want to make sure that we're never getting enraged or frustrated to where we become a victim of this same tribalism that we speak of. All right. So I want us to have a clear mind, a peaceful mind, a stoic mind in a lot of ways. I want us to be able to add positivity and light to the world rather than get frustrated and just combat negativity and demonic actions and demonic words with demonic energy back at it. All right. Let's show and prove with our actions, who's choosing themselves to be somebody that God would be proud of. All right. God gives us all the ability to become what I guess people would consider a chosen ones. But we choose based on our actions, how we're going to live in a way that God would be proud of. So we're going to do our box breathing exercise. So 4 seconds of an inhale. So it's going to be a 4-second inhale, 4-second hold, 4-second exhale, and then a 4-second hold. All right. So y'all know we manifest, we meditate here, we get our breath work in, and I want us to focus on really feel it. Really feel every inhale where you're inhaling that positive energy, that godly energy, that Christ-like energy. Whoever it is that you follow, or whoever it is that you use as a vehicle to connect with God, or whatever it is that you use, just feel that energy, that light. All right. Like you're charging that light that God put in all of us when we're taking our inhale, and on every exhale, we're getting rid of the negative thoughts, all the negative limiting thoughts, all the hatred that we may have, the frustration that we may have. Let's get rid of it, because it's not about that. It's not about that. All right. So if you're in a safe place, please close your eyes. And I'm seeing somebody wrote a comment about, I think, okay. So, yeah. About the Christians in Nigeria. I'd like to talk about Trump's attempt to focus on Nigeria while talking about they're killing Christians in Nigeria. We actually may cover that topic as well, because I think that perhaps it hasn't gotten the attention that it should. And one of our team members on the OG network, she's living in Nigeria, and I asked her about it maybe about a month ago. Like, hey, is it as bad as it's being presented over here? Like, this is what we're being told. And we had a conversation about it. So maybe it'll be cool to even bring her on the show. She does her own, she's an influencer, content creator. She's actually better than me at it. So maybe it'll be good to have her on here. But let me get back to the breathing exercise. If you are in a safe place, close your eyes. And if you're not, then definitely don't close your eyes. But to each their own. All right. Ready? Begin. 4-second inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. All right. Inhaling positive, all positive energy. Feel it coming through. Hold. Exhale the negative. Hold. Inhale, our last inhale. Hold. All right, last exhale the exercise. Release the rest of that negative energy, any limiting energy. Hold. All right. All right, man. Appreciate y'all as always, man. Matt said appreciate the stream. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. Y'all know what we come here to do, all right? Y'all know what we come here to do. Elevate on purpose, challenging ourselves to become the best leaders we can become. We know that we're needed now more than ever, all right? We all are needed, all right? Everybody has a role to play in this. We're all on the same team, so that means that everybody has a role. Let's also challenge ourselves to grow into whoever we need to grow into, whatever we need to grow into, whatever we need to develop, tools, skills, whatever that we need to develop in order to play that role to the best of our ability, all right, and maximize our potential. All right, strength and honor, onward and upward. Y'all know what it is when I say get to that bag. For those that don't, it's not just about the money. It may not be at all about the money, even though we need money. Yeah, but getting to the bag. It's making sure that we're on the proper trajectory as we live in our purpose and strive for purposeful abundance. Everything in our bag, it's going to be the things that we're focusing on a day-to-day basis that can serve as a compass or guardrails to just make sure that we're on that proper trajectory, moving efficiently in our purpose, all right? Not wasting any time along our path to maximizing our potential and making that impact in the world that we like to call our personal legend. So the things that are in my bag are in my bag. You got to figure out what's in your bag. But the things that I focus on, peace, love, happiness, health, wealth, and in everything we do, integrity, and of course, balance. All right. So on that note, appreciate y'all as always. Ant said, have a great week. Great people. Make that feel like lottery winnings. One love from Unc. One love always. Unc always leaves us with the flag to let us know the representation that's in this chat. So when I say we, I really do mean we, and I'm talking about humanity, because we need as many different people, different experiences, different perspectives, different spiritualities, different religions, different everything, cultures. Let's have the conversation, because when we have the conversation, then we can eliminate the fear or eliminate what we've been told about this particular group, and we could just have an understanding based on the amazing interactions that we have here. So Finn sent some hearts. Definitely appreciate that, Finn. Unc said, if you fly in the middle lane, you'll never have to worry about what's right or left. All right. And as always, my brother Queez leaves us with the fire emojis to let us know that the show was official and that now it's officially over. All right. So I'll see y'all soon. Ew.